They said the sword was never meant to return. They said any man who sought it would vanish into the mist, his name swallowed by the mountains, his bones left to warn the living. But when war comes for your home, fear loses its voice. In the eastern kingdom of Liangzhou, where jade-roofed temples kissed the sky and rivers flowed like silver dragons, a shadow crept across the land. The warlord General Kurohan marched with an army that burned villages and shattered dynasties. No blade could pierce his armor, and no army had ever stood against him and survived. The elders whispered of an ancient truth. There was only one weapon that could end the war: the Sword of Dawnfall. Forged centuries ago by celestial smiths, Dawnfall was said to hold the will of heaven itself. It could cut through lies, fear, and even fate. But after ending a great war long ago, the sword was sealed away in a distant land known as the Silent Expanse, a realm beyond maps, beyond memory. Many had tried to reclaim it. None had returned. When the council called for a champion, the hall fell silent, until one man stepped forward. His name was Renjiro Kael. Renjiro was not a noble, nor a general, nor a man of legend. He was a border guard, raised on stories of honor and sacrifice, trained to protect roads most people never walked. His father had died defending Liangzhou's outer villages, his blade broken, his name barely remembered. Renjiro did not seek glory. He sought an end. The elders studied him carefully, then warned him of the truth. "The sword does not test strength," one elder said. "It tests the soul," said another. "And it devours the unworthy," whispered the oldest among them. Renjiro bowed. "If the sword devours me," he said, "let it be full." At dawn, he departed alone. Beyond Liangzhou's borders, the world changed. Forests grew thicker, skies darker. Roads crumbled into legends. Renjiro crossed into lands where time moved strangely, where villages stood abandoned yet warm, as though their people had vanished moments ago. On the seventh night, he reached the Valley of Echoes, where every footstep returned as a whisper of doubt. "You will fail," the wind repeated. "You will die," said the stones. "You are not enough," murmured his own voice. Renjiro nearly turned back, but then he remembered his father's broken sword, and he moved forward. Further east, he encountered the monks of Veiled Stone, guardians sworn to protect the path to the Silent Expanse. Their leader, Master Shuyan, blocked Renjiro's path and spoke without emotion. "The sword brings victory," Shuyan said, "but also ruin. Why do you seek it?" Renjiro answered without pause. "To end a war that should never have begun." The monks tested him for 3 days. They starved him. They blinded him. They forced him to relive his greatest fear. Still, he did not beg. On the 4th day, Shuyan stepped aside. "Remember," the monk said, "the sword chooses who survives holding it." Beyond the monastery lay the Silent Expanse, a land of endless white mist and floating stone islands where gravity bent and sound vanished. Renjiro walked for days without hearing his own breath. Hunger gnawed at him. Sleep betrayed him with visions of failure. Then came the Guardian of Dawnfall, a towering figure carved from obsidian and gold, its eyes burning with ancient judgment. It spoke directly into Renjiro's mind. "Why should the sword serve you?" Renjiro fell to one knee. "Because if it does not," he said, "innocent blood will." The Guardian raised its blade and struck. Renjiro fought not with skill, but with will. Each blow shattered bone, memory, and pride. When he could no longer stand, he crawled. When he could no longer crawl, he reached. The Guardian stopped. "The sword does not belong to the fearless," it said. "It belongs to the faithful." The ground split open. From the depths rose the Sword of Dawnfall. Its blades shimmered like sunrise over still water. When Renjiro grasped the hilt, pain tore through him. Visions flooded his mind. Wars yet to come, lives he could not save, sacrifices he would be forced to make. He screamed, but he did not let go. When Renjiro emerged from the Silent Expanse, he was no longer the same man. His eyes carried quiet storms. The sword rested at his side, silent but alive. He returned to Liangzhou just as Kurohan's army reached the capital gates. The final battle shook the heavens. Steel clashed, fire fell, men fled. When Renjiro faced Kurohan, the warlord laughed. "You are too late," Kurohan said. Renjiro drew Dawnfall. The blade sang. One strike shattered Kurahan's armor. Another ended his reign. The battlefield fell silent. Victory had come, but at a cost. The sword dimmed. Its power faded into Renjiro's veins, binding itself to his life. He knew then that Dawnfall could never be passed on again. The elders later asked him to rule. He refused. Legends say Renjiro vanished into the eastern roads, guarding borders no one remembers, carrying the weight of a victory bought with his future. And the sword of Dawnfall was never seen again. Some say it still waits, not for the strongest, but for the one willing to be consumed. Tales by Sora.